Hello, everyone, and welcome to the VooPlayer Q&A weekly webinar call. We're going to get started here in a minute, but before we do, if you will be so kind to confirm that you can hear my voice as well as see my screen, that would be great, so we know that everything is okay and we can get started. Thank you. All right, it sounds like we're good to go. Hello, Dean. Hello, William. Seems like we have a bunch of regulars today on the call. So just a brief introduction. My name is Peter. I am the product manager of VooPlayer, and we are holding these Q&A calls to gather feedback from you as users, as well as to present you with the new stuff that we've been working on, as well as to primarily answer any questions which you may have or provide any training on any advanced VooPlayer features. So the format of the webinar is as follows. If you have a question which you came with, just type it in the chat box at any time, and we'll answer them in the order that they come in. I see that we don't have a lot of people on the call today, so feel free to ask anything that you've been holding thus far. Looks like it's going to be a slow one, but before any questions start rolling in, I want to show you a couple of new things, as well as to review some of the newly added features into VooPlayer. So on the last week's call, I was talking briefly about the new security enhancements which we added to the video upload in order to make sure that the videos which you upload to VooPlayer are fully protected and they're not able to be downloaded. A couple of days after that call and after we released that feature, somebody identified an exploit which was available through one of the plugins for downloading of the videos, and we fixed that by patching that exploit on November 17th with an added extra layer of security with proprietary algorithm for encryption, which since then has no one reported the ability to download the video, which has been uploaded with this feature turned on. So that's we are really pleased with how that is performing thus far, as it seems that nobody is able to download any of the videos uploaded to VooPlayer with this Secure My Video feature turned on. So we're still kind of rolling it out in beta mode, so it's optional, and it's enabled by users' request. If it continues performing well, we're going to be switching this to the default and apply it to all of the users and all of the videos by default. So just to review once more, in order to enable that for any of the videos, you just create a video as you would normally, and here when you're creating a video and uploading a file, you have a Secure My Video checkbox, which enables that new mode, and if you want, you can learn a little bit more about it by clicking on that help icon next to that. So I just wanted to review that once more as a reminder and as an update for anybody new who was not on the call previously. More details to follow on that on the release notes for the month of November. Let's see, William is saying, I'll PM you an explanatory video concerning an idea soon. All right, cool. Looking forward to that. I don't know how you're going to PM me, but feel free to just send us a ticket at support@VooPlayer.com, or if by some reason you have my personal email, I don't object to you sending it there as well. All right, let's see. Riza is saying, last week my question was, how can I start and end the video from a certain point? When I followed your instructions, it could not save. Maybe I missed a step. Can you please redo again? Yes, absolutely. So, somewhat tricky aspect of configuring the player for any sort of custom settings for like start and end points, or sorry, I shouldn't even go there. Start and end points or custom sizes and so on, is that those options are not savable. So you can't save those options. So they would be applied every time you embed that video somewhere. However, so if I come over here to the publish options and turn on custom start and end times, so I decide that this video is going to start at second 10 and end at, let's say, second 20. Well, I can't because it only lasts for 15 seconds, but so it ends at second, let's say, 12. Then, oops, sorry, let me just go back. So second 2 and second 10, let's say. You'll notice that that's updating the embed code for this video. So it adds the S parameter, which is start, and end parameter, which are being added to the code. So the code itself is where that information is stored, in the embed code itself. So when you are, so let's say I copy this code and then I paste it somewhere on my website, then the next time I come to the video and click on publish again, I'm going to get the default embed code without those parameters. So every time you want to use that, just make sure that either you have those parameters in the code itself, or that when you're grabbing a new embed code, that those parameters are checked. So if we test this with, let me just make sure that this video is okay. Just let me see. This is what I was afraid of. It has an opt-in. Let me just, no, this is an overlay, so it should be actually fine. Okay, so I'm going to grab here the embed code for this video, and I will have it start at, because it's a share. Yeah, so it should work. So let's have it start at second 2, and let's have it end at second 10. So these are the parameters which have been added. So once I open up this link, or if you want, the embed code works the same way. I just don't have a good place to embed it at this time. So if I come here and play it, you'll see that it automatically starts from second 2. And then if I want to skip over to second 15, it'll automatically roll me back to second 10. So that's a way in which it prevents the user from exploring the parts of the videos which they don't have access to. Even if I don't know, if I come over here to below, yeah, it won't allow me to even go under second 2. So that way you limit it to from second 2 to second 10. And again, the important thing to note is that all of those parameters, sizing, the floating of the player, start and end times, those are all saved in the actual embed code. So, and this allows for more flexibility, because in one place you might want to have the video configured one way, and on another website, or when you share a link, you might want it to be configured in another way. So that's why that information is inside of the embed code. I hope that helps. If not, just reach out to us at support@vulplayer.com, and we can provide a more detailed walkthrough. Let's see. So how do we post VulPlayer videos to any social networks so that they will play seamlessly? Play seamlessly where is the question. So some social networks, let's take Facebook as an example because it's the largest, do not support the VulPlayer videos being played within them or any other HTML players, with the exception of YouTube and Vimeo, with which they have exclusive partnerships with. So there is no way in which you can just embed a video inside of a Facebook post and expect it to play. So the recommended method that we are advising
is through the share link. So when you are inside of settings for any of the videos, you can come over here to options and click on the social and SEO settings for any particular video. So inside of there, you can customize how that sharing of that link, how it's going to appear. And here you can customize which headline you want that link to have, which description you want it to have, as well as which image you want to be shared. So here, basically what would happen is when sharing this link, then you would get this kind of a post displayed on the social network, on Facebook or on Twitter or whatever, and that would basically be linked to this page where that can be played. Alternatively, of course, you could also always specify a different type of a link by creating a unique web page on your site. So let's say I had a website called mycoolvideos.com, and there I can embed the player. So I could come here and just grab the embed code and embed it on that page, and from there I would just share that link to that page, coolvideos.com/my new video, and then just share that so it's linked back to my page where I have the complete control of the encompassing experience. Again, in summary, no controls over how a specific social network can handle playing of the video on the network. However, we're giving you additional controls for how you can manipulate the display of that link on those networks. Lewis is quoting our new homepage. To be honest with you, I'm not necessarily sure what the homepage says, but let me just see if I can provide some clarification on what it says. So let's see, that would probably be somewhere in player, maybe. Social networks, easy embedding, built-in social sharing. Post probably this part here. Post your VooPlayer videos to any social network, and they will play seamlessly. Yeah, so that's the walkthrough of that process of posting the link and that link being opened and they being played seamlessly. I don't necessarily want to get into interpreting the wording there, but that's the process. You share a link, you can customize that link inside of VooPlayer, and then you can have it played on either a dedicated watch page from VooPlayer or on your own websites where you embedded it. Okay, so hopefully that answers that. Let's move on a little bit further. One other new thing that I wanted to highlight is that with the release from today, so if this is not, well, sorry, actually, this is available from the last week, so I think it's going to be available to everybody currently at this time, is we've added, well, we haven't added, but we've expanded upon the live streaming feature by aside. Previously, we had the ability to simulate live watching of your video at whenever somebody joins, to have it simulate on a particular date, recurring on particular days. So you can have it start every whatever, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 o'clock. And we've added a new option here by popular demand for recurring the live stream on hourly basis. So you can select the first start time of the simulated conference and then repeat it every X hours. So you can repeat it every 2 hours. So what this basically allows you is an evergreen type of a setup when whoever joins or sees the link or sees your video is going to get the countdown to the top of the hour. So in theory, if I wanted to open up this video now and it's 16 minutes past the hour currently, So if I just open this up, I should get 40 something minutes before the conference begins, if my math is good. Yeah, so 43 minutes before the conference begins. So that's a newly added feature we've added. So the live conferencing can be scheduled on recurring hours, whereas previously we were limiting that to recurring days. So hopefully there's a lot of use cases for that, which I know a lot of marketers are using automated webinars for a lot of their processes. So hopefully that will come in handy for a lot of you people. So let's see. Lewis is also saying, I have been having issues using WooPlayer with Firefox. Invalidates on analytics, opt-in issues, buttons missing. Is it just me? If not, this needs to be addressed. We were able to confirm a couple of issues with display of the application itself, the main interface, which I'm using currently on Firefox. And we've been addressing those ad hoc as we identify them. But in the near future, we will have more of an in-depth cross-browser compatibility study that we need to do not only for Firefox, but also for Internet Explorer and Safari and so on. Our main, to be honest, our main development environment has been in Chrome, and around 98% of people inside of the application are using Chrome. So that's going to be in our focus. But of course, yeah, definitely we need to dedicate a little bit more time to supporting everything. Hopefully the differences are not that bad that they're impairing you from executing anything. Usually we have, what we've noticed is a button being misplaced somewhere or something styled a little bit differently, but we will be actively working on consolidating all of that in order to have a consistent experience across all platforms and all browsers. So that's planned as one of the upcoming releases. Let's see what else we added. Also forgot to mention, so let me just see this. We also enabled for the affiliate badge, which we had. So you'll notice that I don't have a WooPlayer logo currently over here. Also for people who requested this, that feature can now, the affiliate badge can now be enabled on per video basis rather than controlled globally from profile settings. So if you want to have affiliate badge turned off for all of your videos, but you want to turn it on a specific video, you may now that access from the video settings by turning on the affiliate badge. Lewis is still getting the checking of the video payment. Actually, I do believe that that's been worked on throughout past week, and there has been a new release today, maybe 5 hours ago. We had a new release for the new version of WooPlayer, which should be 4.1.24, if I'm not mistaken. So do take a look at that again today, if you don't mind, just so we confirm that it's been resolved. Hopefully, from what I actually, so that's a good point. We did notice that on that was occurring on Firefox. So that's one of the things we're also looking to resolve. Let's see. Another question. Did I read that cards can now be added like on YouTube? If so, could you show us? It's a simplified approach of the YouTube card, but yes, I will be glad to show. So basically, if you come over here to audience events and select on finish action, and on finish action, you select end card content. It will add at the end of the video anything which you want to specify as HTML content, or just using the WYSIWYG as anything, and also control if you would like to allow replay or not. So here you can embed any type of a content, images, add links, what have you, in order to present it to the viewers after completing the video. So we've added this as a simple enhancements, as simple as we could add it currently. And we're looking to expand that based on the feedback from you guys as users, as far as if we could provide any sort of pre-made templates for the end cards that would be useful. But thus far, we're just seeing how people are using it and are tracking that in order to generate some sort of trends before starting to define the templates for that. So currently, under finish actions, if you select end card content, that's what will, and enter in that content, that's what will appear once the video has ended. Okay, let's see if I wanted to touch upon anything else. Yes, quick reminder also about the share feature which we've added. So if you created a cool video, so I think this is a really cool video which I created, and I added all types of different settings, an end card to it, and an opt-in, and so on. And I think it will be useful to my audience if I am an entrepreneur of some sort and I'm sharing an evangelist tips on video marketing or what have you. A great promotional tool which we've added almost a month ago now. I just want you to remind you that it's available, is the option to share this video with others. So you can enable that, and you can share this video with other people who do or do not have Bull Player. So if I just open up that link, someone who you've shared this video with will get this page saying, hey, Peter has shared a video with you, and they'll be able to play it right there and then and see all of the settings for it. And if they have a Bull Player account, they can immediately just add it to their account, which will copy the content, the video source, and all of the settings to their account. And if they don't have the account, they can just sign up for a trial, and that will just get that video into their account after they've signed up for a trial. So it's one of the new features that we've added, and a lot of people do have training type of websites that they're providing people with as far as how to be an effective marketer. So this is giving you an opportunity to create some sort of a video template and then share it with other people in order to promote effective marketing. And our strategy down the line soon is really to provide starter templates for people. So if we have people coming in who are real estate agents or attorneys or something like that, so that we can provide them with getting started templates so that they can quickly customize their video and add their own logo and their own email integration as a quick way of getting off the ground. So that's available under, just as a reminder, that's available under right here under additional options, and you can share that video with other people. Let's see, is there any update on the auto full screen sections? I'm gonna need a reminder course on that, William, if you don't mind. Auto full screen sections. Oh yeah, I remember now. All right, yeah, actually, so there was a request. So this is a bit of a tricky request on. So if we added a specific marker point here, let's say at second 7, and we wanted to trigger full screen to open on its own from that point, the tricky part with that is that some browsers, and in particular mobile browsers, are pretty nitpicky about the events which they allow to trigger full screen. So usually a user event, user triggered event, as the browser makers are referring it to, such as a click or a hover or something is needed to trigger a full screen. Otherwise, it sets off risk alerts saying, hey, such and such page is trying to access the full screen, and so on and so on. So that's been one of the things that's been hindering us in that process of not necessarily being certain that this is something that we would want to implement as a wide implication, just because, we're trying to it could, but then again, so let me just try and phrase this in another way. It's not so much just a technical limitation; it's also an experience limitation from our standpoint. In that, we definitely want to provide as many features as we can to improve your marketing campaigns. But at the same time, we will also want to make the viewing experience for the people who are seeing the videos as productive and as effective as possible, and as not hindering. So where we see a lot of good potential for a feature like that, we also see a lot of potential for abuse of that feature by activating full screen on demand. But we'll look a little bit more into that. I'll take a note just so we don't forget, so we can circle back and examine it once more. It shouldn't be that difficult to execute with the warnings, but again, we're kind of iffy on if that's something necessarily that we want to implement. Lewis is saying, you say that you guys are mainly working with Chrome. Does that explain why using Chrome and going to full screen, it does not show VooPlayer is now full screen, whereas other browsers, some do? All right, that was a mouthful. Let me try and read that again. You say, guys, does that explain why using Chrome and going to full screen, it does not show VooPlayer is now in full screen, whereas others browsers, some do? That does not necessarily have anything to do with the fact that we're working in Chrome. That is more to do with the how a particular browser is handling that experience. So if you've noticed, I don't know, if you open up YouTube or a Vimeo link or anything like that and go into full screen and then come back and see any differences in behavior. So let's say how a Vimeo video goes into full screen on how a Vimeo video goes into full screen on Firefox, and how it goes on to full screen on Chrome, in comparison to how to VooPlayer goes to full screen on Firefox and how it goes to full screen on Chrome. We would like to hear about those differences, aside from just how we're executing the full screen event. That's just a standardized approach, which the browser maker respects or sometimes doesn't respect in some instances. On some older iPhone devices, you didn't even have access to iPhone. So we're just in generally notifying the browser saying, hey, we would like you to go to full screen with this video, and it's up to them how they handle that. It's a pretty standardized approach. William, yes, you're right about full screen manipulation from marketers. Yeah, well, we'll definitely give that some more thought. What would help is a good set of use cases. Where I said I see a lot of potential for that is that it could definitely come in useful when providing some sort of training where you really want people to pay attention to detail, or you want to capture their attention. However, if somebody started using that for ad campaigns, for a video that they were playing in the background that just takes over the entire screen of what you're working on, that can become a big nuisance, and we would try to avoid to be a part of that if we could. But yeah, we'll definitely give it another thought and maybe think about some ways in which we can restrict that kind of behavior. Let's see, what else did I want to touch on? Previously, we were last week we were talking about a lot about white label licenses. So just as a follow-up, if anybody who asked those questions last week is on the call today, I just want to follow up that we started a review process of the white label licenses and the sub account experiences with regards to any little places where we left WooPlayer identified. So that's an active effort on us removing all of the places where you have WooPlayer identified and don't want it to show and would rather have your own white label brand show up. So just as a follow-up from last week, that's something that we are actively working on. Let's see if I have anything else that I wanted to touch on. Also, just a quick reminder, if you were or are planning on using WooPlayer plugin on the WordPress through the if you are planning on using WooPlayer on WordPress through the WooPlayer plugin, good to know is that the WooPlayer plugin version 4 for the version 4 is now available on the on the WordPress plugin repository, so you can access it and install it directly from here rather than previously having to download the zip from us. So that's a full official release of that plugin, and it's available to be installed through the WordPress repository. So and we're continuing to accept feedback on it, of course. So if you have any, please do let us know at support@woolplayer.com. All right, it looks like we don't have any more questions, and I kind of covered everything that I wanted to. Not a lot of people here today, so hopefully we'll have a little bit more next week. But you guys who are joining constantly are what's driving us. Let's see. Dean has one more question. Let's see. Why would one want to use the WordPress plugin versus just using the code provided? Basic answer to that is just convenience. So imagine this sort of a setup for a business. I created a bunch of videos which I've set up the way that I want them to be set up, and basically I'm done with their setup in WooPlayer, and now I just want to go across my websites and start implementing it. And I'm doing that for multiple videos. Let's imagine I have 100 videos and I have 100 pages or 200 pages where I want to post those videos. So the advantage there would be inside of WordPress, you can just click on add WooPlayer shortcode to this post or to this page, rather than opening up WooPlayer, then coming over here and grabbing the embed code, then going back to WordPress and pasting that embed code where you want it. The advantage of the plugin really is ease of convenience for grabbing those embed codes and configuring your player how you want it to play without necessarily needing to come back to the application and configure all of that and then go back to the WordPress admin to implement it. So that's the main advantage, really. Nothing more than that. It doesn't give you any extra features or anything like that. Just do not like using plugins if I don't have to. Plugins on WordPress can be a nightmare to maintain and to make sure that they're compatible with all of the different versions and conflicts between the plugins themselves. Just don't get me started. It's a quick tool to make it convenient. Doesn't give you any extra advantages aside from that. So if you prefer to just use the embed code, that's going to work just as well. All right, cool. So let's wrap it up for today. Looking forward to next week and the questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining today and providing feedback. We'll definitely start looking into the issues with regards to some differences in the design and how it appears on Firefox, and we will examine the full screen trigger option a little bit more closely, but no promises on that. All right, cool. So hopefully you'll join next week, and we'll continue the conversation on improving WooPlayer. Thank you, everybody.